Things are starting to warm up around here, and that means that summer's on the way, but it also means we're coming into a time it really separates those who are dedicated to making their lawn look great and those people who just want to do the bare minimum to get by. Summertime with all the heat, it's a time where our lawns can go through an incredible period of stress. And I like to think that there's three big main categories of things that we need to look out for when it comes to getting through the summer: heat, insects, and fungus. But today we're going to talk about insects, namely grubs, and then we're going to talk about how we can help our lawns get through the heat. And when it comes to grubs, what I really want to focus on today is how to determine, if you go out in your lawn and you see some issues, how you can determine or what something you can do to figure out if you do in fact have a grub problem or if it's something else that needs to be treated differently. Very similar to how we deal with fungus, there's different kinds of products that we can use throughout the season to help either prevent an insect problem from happening or to cure an insect problem that we already have. If you didn't put a preventative down and you look at spots in your lawn and you think you might have a grub problem, what do? So one of the kind of giveaways that you might have a grub problem is if you start see grass like this that is just brown and it looks completely dead. And you'll notice this is kind of localized to this area right here, right? We have green grass right next to it, but all of a sudden we have brown grass and it's in these small little clumps. The first thing you want to do is what everybody usually calls the pull test. So the way that grubs actually cause a problem in our lawns is they sit in the soil and they eat the roots of the grass plant, and because the grass plant has no roots, the leaves that are above the soil get brown and they die. This is a problem that we want to take care of so that way these grubs, wherever they're at in the soil, don't keep eating the grass roots of the plant and killing our grass. That means that these grass blades that are here that are dead don't really have anything to anchor them into the soil. If we grab a handful of them and we gently pull, and there's no roots because the grubs have eaten them, if your grass does pull up very easily, there are things that we can do to fix this, and we're going to talk about that, so don't freak out. But to further confirm if you have a grub problem and if you need to apply something to kill them, go ahead and take a little shovel, dig up a little bit of soil. You know, the grubs like to live in the root zone, which is basically, you know, up to probably about 6 inches deep. So you should only have to dig a little bit and you may find a little white grub. So let's see if we can find one. What you're looking for is something that looks like a white, sometimes curled up, sometimes they're moving, sometimes they're not. Come on, I ain't gonna find one now, huh? Because I'm on camera. I know that I found some in this other section over here. So let's go see if they're still over there. We'll work from that because, of course, while you're on camera, you know, they won't cooperate. I guess they're a little camera shy. So many times when you do that kind of a test, if you pull and you dig, you'll find grubs. I found 4 grubs over there the other day. I know that I have grubs in there. I know that they're hungry. I know that they're eating. My preventative application obviously wasn't 100% effective, and that's okay because you just don't always get perfect coverage. So in order to kill these grubs, we have to buy a product that is not meant to prevent them, but is meant to be a curative and meant to kill them. And let me show you what I'm gonna use. Michigan State University actually has an article available online that I'll link below that talks about what products to use, what products not to use, and when to use them. I'm at a point where I've already applied a preventative and I have some kind of breakthrough. So one of the other products that they suggested was something like this. This is by Bio Advance. I actually bought this at my local Ace Hardware, and it is a 24-hour grub killer plus. Trichlorfon, I believe is how you say it, is the active ingredient, and it will kill the grubs that are in your soil within 24 hours. And of course, when you spread this, take all the proper precautions of PPE and such, and make sure that you are watering this product in. When it comes to watering this product in, usually there's a recommendation on how much water to put down. Knowing how much water your sprinkler system puts down is one of the most important things that you can do to help your lawn to survive through the summertime. Overwatering can help produce an environment where fungus will exist, and so if you water only when your lawn really needs it and you water deeply and you water per your soil composition, you'll be better off in the summer. I recently revamped my sprinkler system. Not only do we have auto taking care of the side yard, I went ahead and replaced all the sprinklers that are in my front yard with in-ground rotors. I have a video about how I converted one of the sprinklers from last year to an in-ground rotor, still using my above ground hose timer. So I'll go ahead and link that up in the corner so you can check that out. I have not done a tuna can challenge, and that means I don't know how much water these sprinklers put down and how fast. Let's go ahead, get this spread on the lawn, and then we will go ahead and do our tuna can challenge. So now that we've got our grub killer product down, we're gonna go ahead and basically do kind of a tune-up on the irrigation system. And on top of that, I need to know myself, how long does it take for my specific sprinklers to put out 1/2 inch of water? So I have these kind of rain gauges here. I got these off of Amazon pretty cheap, and I keep one out in my yard actually all the time to measure how much actual rain we get. But you wanna just go ahead and scatter these in the path of your sprinklers, run them for a specific amount of time, and then look back in here and you'll see that right on here there are measurements. So for me, I'm trying to hit 1/2 inch. I want to see how long it takes to get 1/2 inch. So if you've got some problems going on in your lawn and you're trying to diagnose them, it's helpful to know if your watering is being done properly or not, because that way you can rule out over or under watering very easily as long as you're following those steps. So we have our product down. Let's go ahead and scatter these in the yard, and then we'll run our sprinklers for a bit. Go ahead and do this for all the zones that you have. Now we're just going to come over to our hose timer and start up those sprinklers. Let's run it for 1/2 hour on zone 1. That's one of the things that we got going on in the lawn today. Really sucks having grubs, but you'd be surprised, most people's lawns just have grubs in them. And when we're in the springtime like this, you may not notice it that much because the grass is growing so vigorously. Keep an eye out when you're mowing if you see these kind of spots out in your lawn where you have some dead looking grass, or do that pull test. Pull on that grass gently, see if it comes up with no roots, and then go ahead and determine if you have grubs down in there by digging if necessary. If that grass does not pull up, it's likely something else, and maybe you can go down your watering route to see, do I have a watering problem? Is my watering coverage bad? Am I not putting the right amount of water down? I have a detailed video that I'm going to leave you with on the tuna can challenge, a lot more details around that watering. So I'll go ahead and leave that over here for you to watch next. I want to thank you for watching this one, and I'll catch you next time.